Back to the development. Once the car is built, it has to enjoy its freedom. The first test drives take place on the Era Lessin testing ground in Wolfsburg. Sharp bends are taken at 200, and the steering is tested to see how the vehicle finds its own way around the bend due to G-forces. Through peer analysis, the VW is tested against its competitors to determine the individual strengths of each. After many runs, there remains a fleet of prototypes that still need to be tested under other conditions. The durability of the suspension is tested in the Hydro Pulse installation. It puts the technology to the test under conditions like extreme cold that would never occur in normal use. You have to test the cars for extreme cold and desert conditions, and the Tiguan went through both of these tests. It went through those tests to ensure we have a vehicle that is the best possible compromise between roadworthiness and off-road capability.
Sodass wir ein Auto haben, was einen sehr guten Kompromiss zwischen Straßentauglichkeit als auch Geländetauglichkeit bietet.
On the extreme off-road course, the manufacturer can show how the new vehicle reacts. Instead of having an aluminium chassis, the Tiguan is built of high-quality steel. The rear axle is protected by a high-capacity oil damper system that makes it fit for the hardest of off-road tests. 150 different fueling nozzles were tried out on the Tiguan, very important for a car destined to be sold worldwide. All of these have to fit the fuel tank, otherwise modifications will have to be made before the car goes into production. Once development is over, there are no more changes. Now there should be no faults left. Volkswagen opted for a conservative line, an aesthetic intended to ensure long-lasting looks, and sometimes less is more. On the one hand, you're a bit proud that the car is finished, but on the other hand, as a designer, you're always thinking of how you could have made it slightly improved. But others are just thinking, hey, great, we made it. Then you have to wait for the reaction of the clients to see if the clients think the car is as good as we think it is, and whether they accept it. The Tiguan has another important date, the Frankfurt Motor Show 2 months later. For the manufacturer, this is the chance to show the world its new models. The Volkswagen stands in Hall 4, the world premiere of the VW Tiguan. All the business clients are there, and it's an exciting moment as everyone waits to see whether the many million euros spent on developing the Tiguan were worth it. The most important thing, the reaction of the public. Women seem to like the Tiguan. I think women are also interested in sporty cars. I know I am. And when it's also practical and you can stick your bicycle in it, or a pushchair, or a lilo, then it's just great. It's just the right thing for me because I always dreamed of having a Touareg, and this one has just the right proportions. It also looks great and has great consumption for an SUV. It's the first time I see it. I like the smooth shape, that it's not an angular box, and it has a lot of chrome on it, a lot of cleaning, but fun. The car is also popular with foreigners. Maybe the Asian manufacturers will have to watch their backs.
Yes, very young and very aggressive and elegant, but the high quality I feel it's very good. And I'm very interested in the exterior styling because I'm a stylist from Japan.
A very glossily produced image film shows the Tiguan in a flattering light. A production house from Berlin put in a lot of know-how. No corners were cut here. Whole streets were closed in San Francisco on a Sunday to get the right shots in the can. A special camera crane, called a Russian arm, was used to get breathtaking angles. This crane is remotely controlled and attached to the vehicle. The camera can turn on 3 axes and allows for dynamic and unusual perspectives of the drive. Just one day of filming costs about $20,000 US. Money well spent, because the clip and the Tiguan make a good impression on the public. Now it's just a matter of letting the marketing department get the car exposure. VW, as always, takes a highly professional approach. For an undisclosed sum, supermodel Heidi Klum and singer Seal appeared in the new advert for the Tiguan. The 2 stars are world famous and therefore just as well known in the home market as in the USA. The marketing of the vehicle begins with a print campaign and TV commercial. But in the end, it is the quality and features of the late arrival on the scene that will decide whether the Tiguan can overtake the competition in the compact SUV stakes.